Hi everyone, welcome back to the Function Junction, where we make math simple and easy to understand. Today we'll be going over how to solve word problems using linear equations. Word problems can look confusing, but underneath all the words, there's always an equation waiting to be found. In this video, I'll show you how to translate real-world situations into linear equations, solve them step by step, and check that your answer makes sense. Here's a simple 4-step process to solve almost any algebra word problem. Step 1. Define your variable. Decide what the unknown is. Step 2. Write an equation based on the information given. Step 3. Solve for the variable. And Step 4. Check your solution and make sure it answers the question. Let's look at an example. The sum of a number and 5 is 12. Find the number. Using the steps we just outlined, let's solve this question. Step 1. Define your variable. We're going to use x to represent the number we're trying to find. Before we go to Step 2, it's important we go over the terminology used in word problems. When a word problem says sum, we know that the equation will have addition. If it says difference, it will be subtraction. Product is referring to multiplication, and quotient is division. Now on to Step 2, writing out the equation. The sum of a number and 5 is 12. We know from our terminology that sum translates to addition. We also know from Step 1 that we define the number to be represented by x. So the word problem is translated into the addition of x and 5 is equal to 12. Now Step 3, solve for x. Using the information we learned in the previous videos, we can now solve this linear equation. We subtract 5 from both sides, which leaves us with x equals 7. The last step is to check our answer. Since we found x to equal 7, we can plug it back into the equation, which equals 12, proving that we are correct. On to example number 2. A phone plan charges a one-time $50 activation fee, plus a fixed monthly fee. After 6 months, the total cost is $200. What is the monthly fee? Step 1. Define your variable. In this problem, the monthly fees are unknown and what we are trying to solve for. Therefore, we will let x represent the monthly fee. Step 2 is write out the equation. We have the number of months, which the question says is 6, multiplied by the monthly fee, which we defined as x, plus the $50 sign-up fee, which equals $200. This gives us 6x plus 50 equals 200. Now to solve for x, we're going to start by subtracting 50 from both sides. Then we'll divide both sides by 6, giving us the result of x equals 25. Our last step is to check if we're right. 6 times 25 equals 150. Add 50 and you get 200. Correct once again. Now to answer the question, we found x to be 25, so therefore the monthly fee is $25. When you break it down, every word problem is just a short story describing an equation, and it's our job to figure it out. Here's another example. The perimeter of a rectangle is 48 centimeters. The length is 3 centimeters more than twice its width. Find the width. Step 1. Define your variable. Since we're trying to find the width, we'll let w represent the width of the rectangle. Step 2 is write the equation. In the problem, it says the length is 3 more than twice the width. So we can find an equation representing the length to be 2w plus 3. Now, going back to geometry, we know the perimeter formula is p equals 2 times length plus 2 times width. Now we can plug in what we know. We can plug the length formula into the perimeter formula and then simplify it to receive a final formula of 6 plus 6w equals 48. Now to solve for the answer, we'll start by subtracting 6 from both sides. Finally, we'll divide each side by 6, leaving us with w equal to 7. Lastly, to check our answer, we'll plug 7 back into our formula and get 6 plus 42 equals 48, which is correct. Now to answer the question, we found w to equal 7. Therefore, the width of the rectangle is 7 centimeters. Word problems can be tricky, but there are some common mistakes that we can try to avoid. Example mistake number 1 is forgetting to define your variable. Always start the word problem by representing the unknown with a variable. Mistake number 2 is mixing up operations. Words like sum, difference, product, and quotient each mean something specific. Mistake number 3 is not answering what the question actually asks. Sometimes it wants the total, not just the value of x. Congratulations! We successfully learned how to solve word problems using linear equations. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. Also, make sure to check out our other videos to continue with your function junction journey. See you next time!